If you have been following the theme park industry since the 1st of May, you have probably heard the heartbreaking news that Six Flags America is closing for good at the end of the 2025 season. I already created a video about this topic, which will be in the card above, but I want to get more in depth into the ride collection and see which roller coasters are going to stay for the long haul or are going to get scrapped. So Six Flags America has a total coaster lineup of 9 roller coasters, and we are breaking down each coaster in alphabetical order. So let's start this video off with Batwing, the last remaining Vekoma Flying Dutchman. So is this staying or not? I definitely think this is a goner. Batwing is one of the most problematic roller coasters in the US, and the park was starting to get parts from Nighthawk, but I don't think anyone wants an old flying coaster from the 2000s. It really stings losing a praised coaster model though. A lot of people that went to Six Flags America loved Batwing. I also knew it wasn't going to last very long since the model is a dying breed and parts are getting harder to find. I just don't see this getting saved, so it's likely to get scrapped. But let's go across the midway into the first B&M ever built, Firebird. And for Firebird, this is also an easy call. It's getting demolished. I do not see this getting relocated somewhere else, because nobody wants a small-scale floorless coaster from the 90s. Well, maybe besides Michigan's Adventure, but the trains are fairly new. They were added from a refurb in 2019, so they're not that old. And if there was a park in the chain that could use them, it screams Carowinds. This would be a great opportunity to put floorless trains on Vortex. That ride though is a little dated, but it has the same number of rows as Firebird, so Carowinds is the perfect home for Firebird's trains. But for the coaster itself, it's getting scrapped. There's no way somebody is gonna buy Firebird. Next up is the smallest coaster at Six Flags America, the Great Chase. This is the Zamperla Gravity Family coaster here, and I expect this one to be saved. It is a little old since it was built back in 1999, but there are a few Six Flags parks that will benefit from a kiddie coaster. The two that came to mind were Six Flags St. Louis and Six Flags Over Georgia. Both parks don't have a true kiddie coaster, but the more likely option is St. Louis. Their smallest coaster is Ricky Racer, and that's a family coaster, not really a kiddie coaster. But I chose St. Louis because Six Flags Over Georgia just got a new roller coaster with Georgia Gold Rusher, so I think St. Louis is the best option for being the new home for Great Chase. Now let's dial up the intensity with Joker's Jinx, which is up next. So for Joker's Jinx, to be for real, I don't know. I'm leaning towards the edge for being scrapped, but the parts of the coaster should be sent to Fiesta Texas, Kings Island, and Kings Dominion for their Spaghetti Bowl coasters. It really sucks for me to say that Joker's Jinx is getting scrapped, so it is kind of dated compared to the other launched multi-loopers of the chain, and the old LAM launch costs a lot of money to maintain, so I see why this can bite the dust. I have heard it's a genuinely fun ride, so it is sad seeing this go, but a ride that I've heard is not that great is Professor Screamore's Skylander, formerly Mind Eraser, which is up next. This is the Vekoma SLC, but for the ride itself, like the track it supports, those are getting bulldozed. There's no way somebody wants to buy a dated inverted coaster. The trains though are brand new. They're only about a year old, so they absolutely can't waste these trains. My initial thought of where these trains can go to is Konga Discovery Kingdom. There is also Flight Deck at Canada's Wonderland, but it would be better if that was taken out. There is also Thunderhawk at Michigan's Adventure and Ednor at La Ronde, so I could see any of these locations getting the trains from Skylander. So next up is Six Flags America's quote-unquote newest coaster. It is with Raging Cajun. And in my vision for Raging Cajun, I see this one getting saved. This is one of Six Flags America's relocated coasters. This used to operate at Six Flags Great America from 2004 to 2013. Then it got sent here in 2014, so it is relatively new compared to the other roller coasters at the park. But as for the parks that could benefit from a Wild Mouse, the only one I can think of is Frontier City. They haven't got anything in ages, so hopefully after Six Flags America closes, Six Flags will throw a bone to Frontier City. So next up is the oldest GCI operating for right now, Roar. And this one is pretty obvious, it's getting scrapped. I've heard that it's one of the worst GCIs in wooden roller coasters in general. It does suck to GCI because this is their second roller coaster they've ever made. But does anybody like Roar anymore? If you're one of the few people who likes Roar, I would love to hear what you think about it down below. But I don't see this getting relocated. It would be cool if the front car was sent over to the Roller Coaster Museum in Texas. So for Roar, it's biting the axe. Now let's travel across the park into Superman Ride of Steel. I've been thinking about this for a long time. I honestly don't know. I'm leaning towards the edge of being scrapped, because like the other roller coasters at Six Flags America, it's getting pretty old, and there is a clone of it at Six Flags Darien Lake, which is better because of the placement. As for the trains, they just got new ones, and those are getting sent to Darien Lake as well. It really stings losing the Intamin Hyper though. Now we have one more coaster to discuss, which is the historic Wild One. This thing has quite a history, but this is a goner as well. There's no way this is getting saved. And this one especially sucks because it has been operating for over 100 years. It first operated at a small park in Massachusetts outside of Boston for most of its life before being sent here, and it managed to survive a fire in 1932. I've also heard it's very well received and gave great airtime, so it does suck that we're sadly losing a legend in the amusement industry this year. So I want to hear from you guys, which coasters do you want relocated from Six Flags America? And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Our goal for 2025 is to reach 700 subscribers before next year, and it would mean a lot if you took the time to support the channel. But you can expect a new video coming out in the next 5 days, and keep that adrenaline pumping. But thanks for watching.